and they will be raising funds for GCTC operations and charity as well with War of Two Worlds. Ooh, with all the details right now, we say hello to the director of War of Two Worlds, Kate Smith. Hi.
Hi.
And Mitch Charness is here as well, a lawyer and an actor.
Yes.
Not many people get to have that title, a lawyer and an actor. How are you?
Well, thanks.
Good to have you. You're with the County of Carleton Law Association?
That's the body that oversees the lawyers in Ottawa, yeah.
Okay, all right. Can I ask you, Mitch, so you've been a part of this for quite some time now.
This will be my 15th lawyer play, yes.
And this has been going on 20 years?
This is the 20th anniversary of it, yes. Yeah.
What keeps you coming back to this?
Well, they keep giving me a role, so that's part of it.
Yeah?
To be honest, it's part selfish, part altruism. The selfish is it's fun. It's a really great time. It's a chance to get away from my day job, to try something different, to challenge myself, to inhabit a different world, not just the world of the play, but the world of theater, which is great. To this time, I still love seeing how the show comes together, how Kate does her work, how all the professionals do their work. So it's great. It's a lot of fun. And then altruism, we are, well, in the 20th year, we're close to $2 million raised over that time for the GCTC and for the charity partners, and to be even a small part of that, that's huge. That's
do you have a chance to act outside of this, or you're pretty busy?
This is pretty much it. Yeah, this is pretty much it.
All right, Kate, you have a background, obviously, in entertainment. Now this time you've taken on the director role. So how's it going for you?
It's ask them. It's going well for me. I had previously been involved with lawyer plays over the years as a dialect and movement coach, but this is my first time at the helm as a director this year, and it's been a lot of fun. It's a huge cast. There's 25 actors, so that's a lot to handle. But they're so lovely. We were saying last night in rehearsal, we were crying with laughter. Like, we were having so much fun. Yeah. And they're doing such a great job. And there's a lot of ringers in there too. There's a lot of people who actually studied acting.
Yeah.
And then moved to law, and so when they come back, I got to watch out.
Yeah. Okay. Can it be a touch intimidating because you've got all these lawyers? Like these are pretty smart individuals.
Yeah, and judges as well.
Yeah. Wow.
And so that can be. It's really interesting because whatever hierarchy exists in the legal community outside of the rehearsal room really disappears within the room, and the theatrical hierarchy sort of takes over. So it's not something that myself and our stage manager Jess Priest have to sort of think about when we're working. When we get outside, I'm like, oh man, I just told the judge to roll around on the ground and do this funny face. I bet people don't tell them to do that very often.
Probably not.
But it's also such a great networking opportunity, I would imagine, for all the lawyers in the room, because you have articling students that are acting with judges and everything in between, and all different kinds of law as well. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Mitch, let's talk about the play, because it's War of Two Worlds.
Yes.
So right away you're thinking about the classic story.
Yeah, and it is built around that.
Yeah.
So you mentioned CCLA before, and we actually have a lawyer play committee that helps to plan this. And so when we were talking about the 20th anniversary, we wanted to do something different. And we talked about, what about a classic radio show? That would be great. And War of Two Worlds, of course, War of the Worlds, rather, everybody knows it. It's a classic story. But we thought, well, the audience wants to see more than just us up there doing a radio show. And so the artistic director, Eric Coates, and managing director Hugh Nielsen from GCTC have written a script around War of the Worlds. It's a radio station, 1940s in Ottawa, somewhat dysfunctional, I guess you would say. And we are putting on War of the Worlds. It's our annual time putting it on. And of course, this is the time when everything goes wrong for the station. Challenges that have been brewing all come to a head on this particular night. And so we are trying to resolve that at the same time as we're trying to put on the classic radio show.
You know, I think I've worked at that radio station. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so are there Ottawa-specific jokes then, Kate? Because you must be.
There are definitely, because it was written by Eric and Hugh, there are many sort of Ottawa references and some names that you might recognize in some places. So it's anachronistic in that way because it's taking place in 1949, but it was written in 2018 and 2019. So yeah, but I don't want to spoil them. I'll save that as a surprise for the audience.
Is it hard to recreate the 1940s in a contemporary play?
You know what? It's I don't have to do that because I have such an incredible design team that does that. So we've got Vanessa Imeson doing an incredible costume design, and she brought in costumes even on the first read and had everybody sort of getting into that. We've got Sean Lamoth and John Carter, who are the in-house sound and lighting designers at GCTC, as well as Wendy Berkelar, who's actually done some music because we have an a cappella group called the Pitch Pipes that sing on the radio, and they're incredible. Lawyers can sing. Lawyers dance in this play. They do everything.
Okay, so can I ask you then, Mitch, do your skills translate well on the stage? What you do?
Maybe that's a question you should be asking Kate.
But what you do at your law firm and in the courtrooms, perhaps. I mean, does that translate as an actor?
I think it does, actually. A lot of people say lawyers are hams to begin with, and this is just a chance for us to exercise that. But I mean, as a lawyer, you're used to being out front. You're used to, whether it's in a courtroom talking to the judge, in front of a client giving a presentation. Maybe we've got some government lawyers, so they're used to talking to ministers or to the Senate. So we're used to that spotlight, if you would. And in that sense, it's maybe easy to then get on the stage. Where it's difficult is we're used to saying our piece that we've prepared, and we're used to following our script, not a script that somebody else has written for us, and trying to tell a story. And we're also used to being, I wouldn't say loners necessarily, but again, to having our piece. Whereas here, other people are relying on me to say my lines, to hit my marks, so that they can do theirs. I've got to make other people look good, and hopefully they're going to make me look good. And that is definitely one of the challenges with
June 5th to 8th, it's happening, War of Two Worlds at the Great Canadian Theatre Company. Thank you very much, Kate and Mitch, for being here today.
Great.
Thanks.
Good
Thanks
job.
very much.
More daytime coming up.